The iconic Abyssal Whip is back, and peers now have more options with a new MiniStrike, starting with today's update. Before we get into that though, a couple of announcements. There are some planned maintenance on all game servers on March 28th. This will begin at 10 o'clock BST, 9 o'clock game time, and will last approximately 90 minutes. During this time, access to the website may also be affected. So once again, March 28th, 10 o'clock BST or 9 game time. Next up, the Prime Gaming got delayed from last week till the 28th, so from that point you'll be able to grab yourself the 3 Umbral chests that were expected last time I announced it. Moving on, with today's update they have introduced the Abyssal Whip bundle. This is a Cosmetic Override that costs 200 rune coins or 180 if you are a member. It contains the Retro Abyssal Whip as well as the Remaster Abyssal Whip that was voted on by the players. So you'll be able to find that in the marketplace with the other Cosmetic Overrides. Also, there's been a MiniStrike that focuses around options for Pures. The following options have been added to Nastroth in Lumbridge Courtyard. XP blocking. I want to block XP from specific skills. You can choose to prevent ever getting XP in skills of your choice. Note that at the request of HP Pures, Constitution XP from defeating enemies in combat cannot be blocked. Also, Proof. I want to prove I've never used an XP block / reset. This toggles a tooltip on the combat level icon when you are inspected by a player, indicating whether XP has been blocked on your account or you have used a minor reset. Minor reset. To accommodate pures who have ruined an account by overleveling a skill, Nastroth can now reset your XP in a skill of your choice to its minimum, provided this chosen skill doesn't exceed level 10 or level 15 if Constitution. Unlike Nastroth's 2 major resets, specifically intended to reset defense pures and Constitution and prayer pures when Evolution of Combat released, this minor reset doesn't reset quests that require the chosen skill. Nastroth's resets, major and minor, are now available on a 6-month cooldown instead of once per account. The player must still return in 7 days to activate any resets after requesting it, and activation requires a bank pin. The limit of 1 major reset per account has been removed. This is to help players who are overleveled for Nastroth's new minor resets and have already used either of Nastroth's 2 major resets to recover their accounts and utilize these changes. To prevent exploits from major resets being used repeatedly, Nastroth will cease to provide major resets in less than 6 months, on Monday, 18th September 2023. While the limit of 1 major reset per account has been lifted, Nastroth's 2 major resets were intended for 2 very different types of pures, so cannot be combined. If you intend to make use of one of Nastroth's major resets before they're removed, be sure to activate a major reset before activating a minor reset. Since resets share a 6-month cooldown, and major resets will be removed in less than 6 months. If Nastroth is waiting 6 months after a minor reset, you won't be able to use a major reset before they are removed. Nastroth requires you to wait 7 days after requesting a reset to come back and activate it. So if you have requested a minor reset and prefer to use a major reset, there is time to change your mind if you haven't yet returned in a week to activate the minor reset. Also note that Nastroth's major resets were intended to specifically reset 2 types of pures at the dawn of the combat evolution, and have not been maintained. So until their removal, you use major resets at your own risk. Next, the keepsake box checks now occur before Nastroth skill reset warnings, so that if a skill reset fails due to having keepsake items, the reset does not prematurely go on 7-day cooldown. And they remove the 59 magic requirement from the Family Crest quest, since Chronozon's blast spell mechanics can be bypassed with a Death Touch dart. And that is it for your main game update. The last thing I want to say before the patch notes is that Jagex put out this cryptic message saying, "Warning, beware of aggressive mallards." It goes on to say, "Urgent PSA, there have been reports of aggressive waterfowl appearing on the weekends and attacking local cabbages. Please be on the lookout and do report any sightings." So I'm curious to see what kind of future content this might be hinting at, but but regardless, I felt like mentioning it so you can keep your eyes peeled. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video so far, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you'd like to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Last thing we're going to look at is the patch notes with today's update, so let's check out what's been updated with it, starting with graphical changes. They fixed an issue where lights in the crystal light puzzle in Demonheim were not displayed correctly, fixed an issue with environment visibility at the Soul Altar, adjusted lighting across the Tsar City, overhauled the lighting, and updated the terrain textures in the Underground Pass dungeon. Next, we have some quest changes, fixed a small typo in the Extinction quest, fixed an issue where Adrestea sometimes wouldn't appear in the Falador Castle library after speaking to Saradomin during the Twilight of the Gods quest. The tower door on the roof of the Town Hall is now locked in the Murder of the Border quest instance. The coffer unearthed during the Murder of the Border quest is now similarly sized in its active and inactive states. Fixed some typos in the Murder of the Border quest, corrected the typo potion with 2 eyes to be potion with 1 eye in part of the Murder of the Border quest dialogue, and corrected a typo rude to be roof in a part of the Murder of the Border quest dialogue. Next, the required items to construct buildings during the new foundations and Murder on the Border quests are now listed in their quest overviews. Lastly, we have some general changes. They fixed an issue where the building status of the chapel in Fort Fern 3 claimed that the building is yet to be constructed even if the chapel is fully completed and customizable. The inventory icons for achievement capes have been adjusted to be more easily distinguishable from one another. Players are no longer able to mention returner challenge buffs as items using Quick Chat. Fixed an issue where combat XP lamps claimed from Nickel didn't provide any XP. Fixed missing UI border for Clue Scroll Hard treasure map at Fort Furin 3. Fixed an issue where players couldn't bless extra fine sand on certain tiles in Ardoin Monastery. The Twitch link in the in-game calendar now links to the correct page. The tooltip for the following elements has been adjusted: Samurai Brews, Recipe Shop Potions, and the Spiritual Prayer and Summoning Renewal Potions. The Oddman Store and Terms and Condition button are interactable again when the Out of Keys screen is displayed. Fixed an issue where different types of protein packs were deselected after clicking the More option. Corrected a typo in the Milky Teeth achievement. Updated the description when destroying the Mask of the White Worm to the correct reclaim price. Previously, the description claimed that the price was 50k when the correct price was actually 35k. Adjusted the messages shown in duels to be more clear. Fixed an issue with the Forinthi royal robes missing the neck in the female variant. And lastly, the Witch's Potion Override, Herblore Animation Override can now be deactivated. That is it for your patch notes. Links to everything discussed will be in the description below. Check them out if you wish to do so. If you missed last week's video, it's on screen now, so check it out there. Looking forward to seeing you. If not, I'll see you next week with the following game updates. And with that, I'm out. Aloha.